Hello everyone, welcome to the final study guide series. This is your host Eric, and without further ado, let's just dive into it. Okay, so let's talk about the separation of powers. So the separation of powers, we have the legislative, executive, and judicial branches of the government. Each branch does a certain task. It has a certain power. Legislative branch makes laws. The executive branch enforces those laws, and the judicial branch interprets the laws. This prevents concentration of power. Okay, let's discuss the Commerce Clause. What the Commerce Clause allows is for Congress to regulate the channels of interstate commerce, instrumentalities of interstate commerce, and activities substantially affecting interstate commerce. I said a lot of big words in there, but we're about to define them. This is why federal business regulation is broad. So, interstate versus intrastate commerce. Interstate means across state lines. This falls under federal regulation. Intrastate is within one state. This is usually state regulation. But intrastate activities can still be federally regulated if they affect interstate commerce. Okay, let's discuss the Privileges and Immunities Clause. So this clause basically prevents states from discriminating against citizens of other states regarding fundamental rights. Pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so let's go into some key constitutional amendments. So First Amendment is the freedom of speech. This includes commercial speech, but it's not unlimited. Let's go into the Fourth. The Fourth Amendment guarantees protection against unreasonable searches and seizures. This requires probable cause for warrants. Next, we have the Fifth Amendment. This is the amendment that guarantees due process, no double jeopardy, and no self-incrimination. And then we have the Sixth. So the Sixth guarantees a speedy public trial with jury, an attorney, and the right to confront witnesses. And lastly, we have the Fourth Amendment. This applies due process and equal protection to states. Okay, let's go into privacy legislation. So, businesses must comply with consumer data protection laws, employee monitoring laws, and electronic communication laws. Privacy is increasingly tested in business scenarios. So, let's go into Chapter 5. Court procedures. So there's 3 phases of litigation. First, we have the pleadings, then we have discovery, which happens during pretrial, and then we have the trial and the appeal. So, the complaint must include jurisdiction, statement of facts, legal claim, and requested remedy. Remember those 4. Okay, let's go into pretrial motions. These are heavily tested, so make sure to really remember them. So the pretrial motions are what? They are requests made to the court before trial begins. They can eliminate issues, narrow disputes, or even end the case entirely. Okay, so there's a lot. So let's just go into them. First one is the motion to dismiss. This is filed by the defendant. Argues that even if everything in the complaint is true, there is no legal claim. The court lacks jurisdiction, improper venue, and a failure to state a claim. If granted, the case ends right then and there. The case ends early. Okay, next we have the motion for judgment on the pleadings. This is filed after pleadings are complete. This argues that no dispute about material facts is present, and based only on pleadings, one party should win. Similar to summary judgment, but based only on pleadings, not evidence. Next, we have motion for summary judgment. This is filed after discovery. This argues that no genuine issue of material fact is present, and the moving party is entitled to judgment as a matter of law. This is supported by affidavits, depositions, and documents. If granted, no trial is needed. Next, we have motion to compel discovery. Basically, this is filed when one party refuses to provide the requested discovery. Asks court to order what? The production of documents, answer to interrogatories, and attendance at deposition. This is the failure to comply can lead to sanctions. Okay, let's go into the motion to change venue. These are requests. This motion requests case be moved to a different court location. So the reasons could be the pretrial publicity, the bias in the current location, and the convenience of witnesses. Okay, motion to strike is next. This asks court to remove improper material from pleadings. Examples are irrelevant allegations and inflammatory statements. Next, we have the motion for default judgment. This is filed when the defendant fails to respond. The court may automatically rule in favor of the plaintiff. Okay, so some exam tips. Missing might test the difference between motion to dismiss versus summary judgment, which motions occur before discovery versus after discovery, and when a case can be ended without trial. So what is even the purpose of discovery? Basically, it prevents surprises at trial. So examples are depositions, which are oral questioning under oath, interrogatories, which are written questions, requests for documents, and requests for admissions. Okay, what do we need at trial? The essentials are burden of proof, direct and cross-examination, rules of evidence, and jury instructions. Okay, let's talk about the appeal. The appellate courts review errors of law and procedure mistakes. They do not retry facts. Thank you, and stick around for the next video. I'll see you later. Bye.